Tonight, it's our 40th episode on Comic Book Canon! That is right, episode 40, people. 40! We're like 12 away from doing this for a year practically. This is insane! But it's Friday. We're back again to talk about comic books. The comic book, the passion, the thing that we all love and we all talk about and we all get together on a Friday night. I'm too excited, so I'm going to bring in my partner in crime here, Chris, to just kind of bring the level down. Chris, can you bring it down just a little bit?
Usually I'm the one that's jumping all over the place, but yeah, man, I did such the stream that I just did on my channel took a lot out of me. So I'm a little mellow today, but that's all right because I'm happy to be here. And my second wind is just about to kick up, and we're going to talk about some sweet, sweet comic book stuff.
You know what? I hope you all are happy that we're here too, because we're happy to be here talking to you, Dan De La Torre with Canon Time. I like that, man. Maybe we should start using that, Chris. What do you think? Serge Henderson, how are you guys doing today? We're doing just fine. It's even better because we are here with you guys on a Friday Night Live show, and we're going to get right to it. I mean, we got like a majority DC news, Chris. DC news this week. A majority DC. When was the last time we could say that? DC fandom?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that's like, again, more DC news than Marvel news, and we're just going to get right into it. What do you say, Chris? Shall we?
Do it. Let's do it.
All right. This is kind of exciting. I think we should all be excited about this because this is something we talk about each and every week. We want to see the DCEU move ahead, move forward, move the needle, and kind of grow as this cohesive universe. And looks like they have a DCEU Supergirl, and I think that will help that in general overall, and that's something to be excited about. That is right. Supergirl has been cast. It is Sasha Calle. She's been cast as Kara Danvers / Supergirl in the Flash film. And according to director Andy Muschietti, I saw more than 400 auditions in the U.S., Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia. The talent pool was truly amazing, and it was very hard to make a decision, but we finally found an actress who is destined to play this role. Sasha is best known from Young and the Restless, and it's quite interesting how she found out. And Muschietti gave her another call saying, hey, we need a little bit more information from you, and completely set her up. It's a really kind of an emotional video that we're going to play for you right now. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
Hola.
Hola, Sasha. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. ¿Y tú cómo estás?
The truth is that I don't, we still don't have an answer, but I need to ask you a couple more questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just part of the process.
Yes,
so,
ask them, please. I've been dying over here. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, here it goes. Can you fly?
Can I fly?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean, can I fly?
Like fly, like physically.
If you need me to.
Okay.
No, of course not. ¿Cómo así que sí puedo volar? O sea,
All right. Do you want to fly?
yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Well, then maybe you will need this. You know what this is?
What?
You're Supergirl. Felicitaciones. Muy bien. ¿Está bien, Sasha? Come back. Felicitaciones. Congratulations, Sasha. You made it. You made it.
Thank you, guys. This is like...
Okay. Thank you. No, thank you. We're all thrilled about it. We're super happy. And
little me would be like, no way. Can I freak out for a second?
Of course. Yeah. Take your time.
I got it.
¿Sabías lo que era?
I can't. I'm probably not going to stop crying all day. And I'll probably see you guys and talk to you guys and also cry in the middle of a conversation with you guys. So I just want to say thank you so much again. I really
Yeah, you're really...
Thank you. Thank you, truly.
I mean, if you're watching this and it doesn't give you just a kind of like either a smile on your face or tear to your eye, there's something wrong with you, because that is awesome. And those are the kinds of actors that we want to see be in these roles, that are passionate about it and super excited to be there. And that's just beautiful.
I love it. Yep. I love it. I don't know much about her. I see that Joe does recognize that she looks very young and restless.
Cute. All right. There we go. There we go.
But I love the energy. I love that they did that. Look, man, hey, another silver lining in what has been the last 11 months of our lives here on Earth. Would a moment like that have been captured on camera if we weren't living through COVID? So I appreciate that.
Good point. And here's another thing: if they had to go through 400 auditions to cast this one person, to cast Sasha, this role is more than just being in the Flash film. This is the DCEU Supergirl. Yep. And again, we talk about moving this franchise forward as the DCEU and adding characters like this. Super exciting. And I, for one, am glad to hear about it. Chris and I talk about this. We want DC, Warner Brothers, to succeed. And let's hope this is another step in the right direction for that.
Right. Absolutely.
But speaking another step in another direction, we have Marvel news before we get to more DC news. Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, it's like Marvel just keeps adding little sprinkles on top of their chocolate donuts, So am I excited? Yes, I hope you are too, because Marvel has introduced an Assemble Disney Plus TV show. So what this is, I think it's really, really creative. Basically, it's going to focus on behind-the-scenes looks at the current and future Disney Plus and feature films from Marvel Studios. First episode premieres March 12th, so that's going to be the Friday after the last season finale episode of WandaVision. And this episode of Assembled is going to showcase WandaVision. So episodes will follow either the conclusion of each series or of a feature film. So right now, what it's doing is it's basically eliminating any hole that there is, because we knew that WandaVision ends, then you have a week with no WandaVision or we thought no MCU, right? And then you have Winter Soldier starting that next week. This fills that gap. So yeah, it's not an actual show story playing out, but right now, I am just so hyped for anything Marvel inside, to get an inside look and behind the scenes of everything that's going on to fill a Friday. I'm telling you, sprinkles on top of the chocolate donut.
And it's also Charlie Kirkland's kid's birthday that way as well.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
I agree, man. I love how they do this. And honestly, the behind the scenes of The Mandalorian, I've only seen the first season. I know there's a second season. I enjoyed that thoroughly. And I really think that, seeing how this, especially a series like WandaVision, which is, let's all say, I mean, I think we can all agree, this is innovative. Like what they're doing here, it's bringing in more of the mainstream eyeballs in, and people are just like, what is going on? What is this all about? And they're loving it. So I'm excited about this. It keeps everything moving. You're right, Chris. And it'll fill that gap for that week, because then we get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. God, this is awesome. Chris, did we talk about this like months ago? The floodgates will open come 2021.
Yep.
Have they opened?
Yeah. It's like, I'm telling you. Remember, I think I said a couple weeks ago, just after Friday, you can hit me on the head and I'll black out until the next Friday and I'll be good. Funny thing about that is these weeks, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, I think it could probably go either two ways. Either we want it so much that each day is seeming like you're like slugging it along. But for me, it's been like, oh, I'm so glad that week's done. It's already Friday again. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a different like frame of mind to be in, as opposed to what we were dealing with last year, for so many reasons. Anyways, moving on. Dan De La Torre, he's claiming he's the old man in the group, but you know what? You're only as old as you think you are. Let's put it that way. I mean, there is physical age, but it's all up here, man. It's all up here. And given that fact, though, I'm going to make an assumption here that you enjoyed a particular kind of earlier earlier film that kind of launched superhero films in general, that being Superman 1978 release, as well as the Batman 1989 release. I mean, these were cornerstones for the comic book genre, the comic book movie genre as a whole. This, guys, is my most exciting piece of news, to me, is the most exciting piece of news out of the whole week. That's right, because we have the old school Batman and Superman 78. They're going to continue the stories. This is insane. They are going to continue the adventures of these films. DC Comics will be continuing the twisted adventure of DC's Dark Knight from Tim Burton's seminal classic Batman movies. Batman 89 brings in screenwriter Sam Hamm. Batman Returns and artist Joe Quinones, Dial H for Hero, to pull on a number of threads left dangling by the prolific director Tim Burton. The Gothic mentality behind the world, while still rooted in a sense of realism, helped inform many of DC's global fans' first impressions on the Dark Knight's Gotham. In the new Batman 89 comic, Hamm and Quinones will help usher in the return of Selina Kyle Catwoman and will debut a new Robin. Plus, Quinones has a vision for Harvey Dent Two-Face that is as close to movie magic as a comic can get. That's right. They are going to be releasing these as comic books to continue the stories of these films. Here's a little snippet of what we can see in terms of Superman. And in the veins of DC's plans for Batman 89, Rob Venditti, who wrote Hawkman and a lot of other Valiant titles, and will be a writer on Bad Ideas books as well. And Wilfredo Torres, who actually drew Batman 66, will collaborate on Superman 78 to tell stories set within the world Richard Donner and Christopher Reeve created in Superman the movie. In Superman 78, bystanders are surprised and delighted by Superman's abilities, and Lois Lane doesn't yet know that Clark is secretly Superman. The sheer thrill of seeing a man fly, leap, or stop a bullet will be reflected in this environment where Superman has just been introduced. Inspired by Donner's classic timeless style of superhero storytelling in Superman 78, Venditti and Torres will show fans that a man can fly. Oh my gosh, I'm super psyched about this, Chris. I am absolutely excited. Now, granted, this will first debut with 6 digital chapters of each new series on July 27th, followed by new chapters of each comic book for the 6 weeks that immediately follow. The 12 chapters of each series will also publish as 6 printed comics between August and October, and as hardcover collections in October and November. I mean, I'm super psyched. And to get you guys even more psyched, look at this concept art. I mean, that's definitely the Keaton, Bruce Wayne, aka and Batman. You got Harvey Dent, you got Alfred, you got I'm sorry, not Harvey Dent. You got Bullock and Commissioner Gordon. And this is pretty cool right here. You have this Joker gang with a guy that looks like Joker. Because we all know Joker died at the end of that first Batman film. Spoilers. But this guy looks like Prince. The guy in the middle looks like Prince, who did the soundtrack. And then with the Superman artwork, you have that Christopher Reeve vibe, that look there, especially when you look at him as Clark Kent. I mean, look at that hairstyle. That's straight up out of the movie. I mean, I'm psyched. I was influenced by these films. Like these are when you talk about Superman on film, it's Christopher Reeve to me. Also, Michael Keaton as Batman, it was just amazing. So I don't know, Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's great. Funny you say, we talk about Christopher Reeve. If those movies were made today, because I know, the younger folks that are so spoiled with CGI and all that stuff. If those were made today with him acting, I still think that he the best modern Superman as well.
You may want to repeat that again. The internet kind of cut out.
Sorry. I was just saying, if he was still alive today and at that age, and they were making Superman films, I think he would still fit today for a modern Superman, hands down.
Yeah, I agree. He embodied what Superman was. Like, I'm looking in the comments here, guys. You guys are loving this this kind of announcement, as we are. Like, anyway, so it's super exciting. And again, I can't wait. Again, they're going to come out on digital first, then they'll be released as floppies, and then they'll be released as hardcover collections. But man, I was just going to ask you to clarify that for those folks, and I like this too. And this points to,
this whole doomsday thing of what DC's doing on the comic book end, right? I like this because they are tending to literally every market. So everyone can be happy, because we know that we have a lot of folks that, the digital market is still very small, smaller than what people think, that can buy in digitally if they don't collect. But then you still have the floppy, but then you still have the collection that many people will buy instead of buying the single issues. I really love this marketing strategy. I love what they're doing. They're really thinking outside of the box in more ways than one. And I think this is a positive move all the way around.
Good. Yeah. Good for DC. Again, like, I've been down on DC because I don't think they've been putting out quality. I like 2 titles from Future State right now. I like Wonder Woman and I like The Dark Detective, and that's it. Everything else is just falling flat for me. But I am psyched about this. Is an announcement that gets you excited as a fan. Funny comment here. Wow, Superman 78. Does that mean we are going to see Richard Pryor's in the comics? Honestly, I hope they take it after Superman 2. Or in between Superman 1 and Superman 2. Really don't hope they don't go down. I hope they don't go down the road of 3 and 4. It's funny you should say this, Bishner. I hope Robin looks like Marlon Wayans, because that was the plan, everybody. I don't know if you all know that, but that was the plan. Marlon Wayans was cast to be Robin, and it was a late decision to cut him from the film. So they're saying a new Robin will be revealed in this series. So that's something to be very, very excited about.
Yep.
Matt asks, hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Matt has something to share later in the show. We'll get to it at Fresh from the Comic Shop. And if you guys have any fresh pickups, why don't you share them with us in the comments? Tell us what you got. We'll be sharing ours with you as well as some others. All right. Moving on, though. Joe G, howdy. Moving on, though, Christopher. We have more DC news. What do we got?
More DC goodness. I like this. It's getting some pushback, but I like it. Constantine reboot is on its way from J.J. Abrams. I'm a fan of J.J. Abrams. How about you guys? HBO Max. We're getting a new reboot. Deadline has confirmed that J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is working on a reboot of the Constantine show or franchise for a show for HBO Max. This series is going to be written by Guy Bolton. Now, already fans, because some fans have been petitioning for Keanu Reeves to come back. He was in the Constantine film back in 2005. I thought it was decent. But this is really going a different route. DC's taking this in a much different route. I'm digging it. They're in talks. I don't believe we have an official confirmation, but the route that they're going is with Riz Ahmed, all right, to play the lead of Constantine. There is already so much backlash surrounding the decision due to Ahmed's ethnicity. Here's the thing. Here's what matters to me. This guy's British. He's British, and I think he can kill it. I agree. We got to look at the elements of the character. What makes that character? Constantine being British is a key element that the character needs to have when portrayed in a live action. Ahmed is British. I think he's going to kill it. If they, make this final, I absolutely think he's going to kill it. So bigger news regarding this, though, Bad Robot is also working on bringing projects with other Justice League Dark members or characters to live action. So could this mean that Abrams is working on a Justice League Dark universe that can lead to a J.J. Abrams live action Justice League Dark feature film? That would be awesome. I'm with it. I'm so with it.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams, and I do believe Bad Robot signed an exclusive deal with Warner Brothers, so J.J. Abrams will be working on all of these DC properties, and I'm excited to start seeing what this is going to be. There have been many kind of rumors and information out there that it's going to be Justice League Dark first. Now it's going to be Constantine. So who knows? Again, I think that's kind of indicative of how messy the DC side of Warner Brothers is right now. Hopefully they're starting to get their act together, but like having somebody a caliber of J.J. Abrams on any of those properties that's just a good thing. It's in good hands, I think. And I'm excited to start seeing some rock solid information of what's going to be coming out first.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen like off the top of my head, J.J. Abrams with what he did for Lovecraft Country. You know, in co creatorship with Peel.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so he could definitely go the horror route, you know, and you know, we know that Justice League Dark is centered around mysticism, sci-fi, and horror. So I think he's what was that? Was he involved in the Section 8 film? Wasn't that Steven Spielberg with Bad Robot? I think they teamed up on that.
That was the Cloverfield franchise, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe.
So,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I really think, you know, I know JJ's done a lot of the heavy sci-fi stuff with Star Wars and Star Trek right now. But if you look at his track record, man, I think this is a great person to bring on for that tone of bringing in that sci-fi mysticism with horror. And I'm absolutely looking forward. And look, it's on HBO, so they can push boundaries.
Yep. Oh man, that's the exciting thing that DC has. It's not like a Disney where you got to be careful. By the way, Miguel Poole, what is up? Thank you for joining us. You know, Disney has to tread carefully. They have to tread lightly. They are going to have an R-rated Deadpool. Maybe that'll open the doors for more adult-themed content, which we can all hope for. Maybe they'll utilize Hulu as that kind of place where those things go. I don't know, but HBO Max is just there, right? And again, they really, the boundaries are not as confined as a Disney Plus. So it's super exciting. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot of people are also saying that Deadman would be awesome. I mean, these are comments right after each other. Tricky Clicky, ooh, Deadman would be dope. P. Keel, Deadman would be dope. Literally, like this 9/21, you guys released those comments. So anyways, Joe G's got it right. Super 8, which I think that's part of the Cloverfield kind of universe or what, you know. So anyways, super exciting. But here's another announcement that just came out today that's super exciting. Gosh, and I cannot. Todd McFarlane was at an event called Comic Pros, and he was, I guess, giving some sort of a keynote, and he let slip that Department of Truth will be a television series. And if the president of Image Comics is talking about a property of Image Comics, saying that without any kind of prior kind of publications coming out and confirming this, there's something to that, because he wouldn't just say it. And what do you know? It is true. It is the truth. It is the Department of Truth. That is right. It now has a production company, which is the next step forward. But I'm excited about this. I'm very excited about this because Sister is the production company co-founded by Elizabeth Murdoch and Stacey Snyder and Jane Featherstone. They have picked up the Department of Truth. Now, the reason I'm super excited about this is they also produced Chernobyl. And Chernobyl was an outstanding series on HBO. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but Department of Truth, the creepiness to it with this kind of like X-Files vibe meets conspiracy theories, they are the tone of what Chernobyl was, and if they bring it with Department of Truth, this series is just going to be unstoppable. And so, you know, on top of that, this was a huge bidding war with 10 entities trying to get this property. But, you know, Sister, the production company Sister, you know, acquired this property. We'll see what happens next. This does not mean it's going into production, everybody. This does not mean it's greenlit. It has a quality production company behind it that will be pushing for that. And this production company has an amazing track record with Chernobyl. I highly recommend that series. And if any of you are into the Department of Truth, now is the time to get those issues, because they are only going to go higher. So I would jump on that if you could find a nice deal, because anything over $10 to $15, I'd wait it out to see if there's a lull coming up. So that's really exciting, Chris.
Yeah. You know, we'll be talking a little more about Image as well later on in the show, but this is just I've talked about this before on the show. This is why comics go far beyond this superhero genre, right? The content, and this goes back to one more reason why I feel like comic books are not going anywhere. Comic book writing and the creativity that is put in the books is providing, you know, the foundation for so much entertainment, toys, feature films, cinema, TV, streaming services. It's just animation, anime. It's just crazy. And I will always talk good on, these independent companies with these titles getting, deals from these big studios to be able to pull them into some types of series or feature films. I will always respect these announcements. Now, if the shows are going to be good or not, that's another thing that's always subjective, but I have a lot of faith to your point, and I really like the content behind it, and what the stories are about. So, quality work all around that's really keeping this entertainment industry afloat in so many different aspects.
Yeah, I mean, and again, if you guys don't know this is one of my favorite series out of last year. Basically, it's about conspiracy theories, and if enough people believe it, it becomes true. And the Department of Truth has to protect that truth. But there's also these other shady kind of other groups that are going against the Department of Truth. There's a lot of questions here, actually. Joe G has them all so far. I as well. Matt he's grabbed issue 1 but hasn't read since then. I'm on issue 4, but issue 5 just came out 2 weeks ago. It's really good, guys. I would again, if you guys are interested in kind of getting this before it gets hot, now is the time to jump on. Actually, that train may have left the station, but maybe there will be a lull in the next few months when they're kind of working things out and waiting for it to get picked up by a distributor of some sort or streaming service, which will probably land on a streaming service and get greenlit. So exciting stuff for, I guess, independent comics, given that this is an Image book. So anyways, we shall see. But speaking of independent comics, we had Dinesh Shamdasani on last week, the CEO of Bad Idea, former CEO of Valiant, and the producer of Bloodshot. And it's come to our attention that there are a lot of fake ash cans out there of Bad Idea's new releases. Their first release is going to be next month. Their second is going to be in April. But there are some people that are selling these fake ash cans. They're sending them to CGC. CGC is grading them. And then people are selling these for hundreds of dollars. So guys, Bad Idea ash cans are a bad idea. And specifically, Dinesh addressed this like in December. So we want to let you guys know, be careful of this. Bad Idea has not, according to Dinesh, Bad Idea has not made any ash cans. These are bootlegs made from the previews pages accompanying our press releases. Please don't spend hundreds of dollars on them. You'll need that money for the hero trade. That's kind of true, actually. But again, guys, be careful. Do not spend your money on these ash cans because, again, these CGC ash cans are going for a pretty penny.
That just, it infuriates me. And does, and look, I'm not here to point a finger at CGC because I don't have enough information to even go there. But I have to put the question there. Is there no quality control or I don't even know if you call it quality control, but are they not being able to monitor what's coming in to catch these books and realize that this is
it's really bad. I mean, it's bad that CGC hasn't contacted Bad Idea, but who knows?
Yeah.
Again,
Yep.
I would stay away from those if I were you guys. I think Chris is going to give you the same advice on that. So be on the lookout. They're interesting. Check out and see how much they're going for because I'm interested. That's showing the hype for Bad Idea. People are excited about this company, but.
Yep. That's the silver lining here, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're getting some press here. Now, I saw an interesting comment here from Charlie Kirkland. Guys, we are just a two-man team, so sometimes it's hard to go back and find these comments. Okay, so speaking of, we said we had Fresh from the Comic Shop coming up. You have a few of your new books here. How do you show them? You can hit us up at Comic Book Canon. That is right here on Instagram, and tag us with any pickups that you have each week, and we'll show them on the show. It's that easy. Or why don't you leave them in the comments? So everybody, leave in the comments what you guys picked up fresh from the comic book shop this week. Because guess what? Chris, guess what? It's now time for Fresh from the Comic Shop. That is right. Yeah. Fly from the Pressing Salon. If you guys get that cute little reference, that is from Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff, and the Fresh Prince, Summertime. Never mind. But anyways, that's right. It's time, fresh from the comic shop, where Chris and I, and sometimes a guest, we have no guest this week, we share with you our 5 pickups from the comic book shop, our mail calls, our AOKs, 5 books that we got this week, and we share them with you. And we share everybody else's who shares them with us. So guys, in the comments, tell us what you got, because we have some good gets as well from our audience that we will be sharing. Chris, I'm going to have you go first. What is your first book fresh from the comic shop?
Well, it's a 2-parter. And I'm picking this first just because we were just talking about DC. You brought up Future State. I got the Kara Zor-El Superwoman 2-part. So I got 1 and 2. And so I went down to a comic book shop in Benicia, California called Zeppelin, are actually one of the retailers for Bad Idea. So, I wanted to get some more Future State. I've only read the Wonder Woman one yet. I have another. I have I have a couple, but I haven't read them yet. But I wanted to get more, and I got this one, and I read it. And one thing that I like about this is that the artist is the writer, Bennett. I forget her first name. A woman that's doing the art and writing. I wasn't really into it. I wasn't really into the story, but I got to the end and I appreciated the meaning. Like there was this deep meaning. What am I trying to say here? This message, right? There was a message in here. I wasn't really a fan of the art, but I thought the art was extremely unique, but it wasn't really my thing. But I can see how some other people could enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. So I look back at what you just said, Jeff, about how it hasn't really been speaking to you. I wanted to show this off because even though it wasn't really for me, taking myself outside of myself, I appreciate what it was and what it did. I actually think it was written and the art was done. Like I like this kind of. That's an ad, by the way, but that's more me, right? You get those solid colors and it's more kind of rugged. Where this has that very kind of almost like a peach momoko vibe with kind of the pastel colors and everything. But I was reading it. And in the characters, in the art was written, and I'm like, this is a great story for young girls and women. And I think really can speak to something that where every comic book that's released doesn't have to be for me, doesn't have to be for you, ever, doesn't have to be for you or you or you. It's like this can be something. This type of storytelling and artwork is, I think, really awesome for a different type of a person. And I think it really speaks to young girls and young women that might be wanting to get into the hobby. So again, I could be subjective and say, it wasn't really my thing, but I think there's a lot of potential here for where I think I like what DC's doing by kind of molding characters into speaking to maybe different audiences.
Yeah, I'm trying to like it. Again, I haven't read the whole line, like the Future State line. But the things that I've read, it just have fallen flat. I love Wonder Woman, Joelle Jones. That art is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And the story, it's got like this cute vibe to it, right?
Yes. I only read the first issue, but
not in an annoying way, in a really endearing way. I really enjoyed Future State 1 and 2, Wonder Woman, and now she's going to get her series by the same creative team. I'm in.
You know what it reminds me of after just reading the first issue? Like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
The vibe, the writing, and
it's really just quick too. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, those are good pickups. I mean, you took a risk. Like, my daughter's teachers say, be a risk taker. She's 5. Be a risk taker. So you were taking a risk. So I applaud you on that. I took a risk too. It's not that much of a risk. I was interested in this, let's say. So for my first pickup this week, this came in the mail. So I think this came out 2 weeks ago. But it is a new series by Aftershock. I have not read it yet. busy week, guys. Get off my back, okay? But this is Maniac in New York. It's about a serial killer who cannot be killed, and he goes on a rampage. And it's by Elliot Callan and Andrea Moody. And I'm definitely interested in checking this out. I heard a lot of people liking this. I heard a lot of people talking about it before it was released. It's got some pretty cool artwork, ton of variants. I think this thing was pretty hot. It sold out pretty quickly as well. But I'm excited to start reading this thing. Got it in the mail. Ordered it from TFAW. That's a pretty good online distributor. But yeah, online shop actually. But that is my first pickup of the week. Chris, what do you have for your second pickup of the week? Oh, wait. Time out. That's not how we do things here, Chris. That's not how we do things. We go with the audience here. And we got Matt S., who shared with us. Been a while since I did a mail call. Here's Alpha Flight 1 through 50, all new stand editions, which I thought was pretty cool. This is a callback to last week's show. It's no Amazing Fantasy 15, but at least it has these covers. Dinesh had shared with us his Amazing Fantasy 15 with no cover, but he was loving the smell. Matt, those are great pickups. I'll tell you, like, Alpha Flight number 1 is a big deal because there's so many first appearances in there. And I guarantee you that Feige is looking at that as, a potential, whether it be their team or some of their characters. Also look into issue 19 where it's Shaman's daughter, and I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but that's a great first appearance as well because she's a younger character who could be in this kind of youth movement that they have going on. But Matt, that's great. And by the way, guys, that's how you share your pickups with us. Tag us on Instagram if you're in there. Hit us up, however you want. Email them to us, what have you. We are happy to show them off. It's super exciting. But Chris, what is your second pick of this week? What do you got?
I like that choice by Matt too. I do want to say, like, I got most of I have 1 through 100 Alpha Flight, and I got like almost every issue in either the 50 cent or the dollar bin. And there's a lot. I'm telling you, I think there's a lot of Marvel runs that at least I was able to pick up in 50 cent and dollar bins. Like New Mutants is another one that get ready for, because like you said, Feige, but
by the way, Matt has 3 copies of 19. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head. I have 2 copies myself. I cannot remember her name, but that's a good first appearance. And by the way, also Pedro Windu, what's up, Cannon? Happy Friday, comic fam. Thank you for joining us, Pedro. I hope you're having a great day. You're in time for Chris's second pickup of the week. Chris.
All right. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, guys, but it's breaking my heart. Here's Star Wars number 11. I started reading this, and I'm on, how many pages did I get through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual 6 pages. And I read it like two or 3 different times, and I can't get through it. And again, this storyline, when they rebooted last year, it's issue 11, takes place right after Empire Strikes Back. It is just so dull and dry. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever been this bored reading a comic book. I really don't. There was a couple issues there that I started to enjoy. Like Luke went on a little journey to meet like an old Jedi or something that still was alive. And but then after that, it's just it keeps just dragging out. And I'm like, this is so bad.
Yeah, this is the first time any of us have chosen a book that you're like, this sucks. Yeah. But I appreciate the honesty. I absolutely do, because it doesn't have to be something you like. It could be something you just regret. Because we all have regrets sometimes in this hobby. Pete Keel picked up a high-grade West Coast Avengers 45 for no damn reason. What are you talking about, man? That is the Vision Quest storyline, right? Where we see the new Vision, the John Byrne kind of revamp the Vision. We may see that in WandaVision. Who knows? That's a good pickup, man. I really, really like that. Cali Comics picked up the Civil War number 3 Michael Turner cover. Nice pickup. Tricky Clicky, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. That's a nice one. Joe G. Here we go, Joe. Doctor Strange 174, First Satanish. I'm picking up multiple copies of Silver, Bronze Age, first appearance of magic characters. Chthon, Satanish, before they're introducing the MCU. Not a bad strategy, especially with what we saw in WandaVision today. No spoilers yet. We're gonna talk. We'll talk a little bit about it at the end of the episode. But Joe, great pickups indeed. All right, moving on. Here is my second pickup, and I just clicked on something, but it's a good question. Did you guys read Fear Case? I have not read Fear Case, Cali Comics, but I will be on the lookout for that. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give you guys my second pickup this week. That is King in Black number 4, just the regular cover. I usually read these right away. Guys, I had no time this week, but I'm pretty psyched because this also has Peach Momoka's Demon Days. It's an exclusive look, a prelude is what they're calling it, to what she's got going on her series. She's drawing and writing as well. So I'm excited to read this. I've liked it. I've liked it to an extent. I thought it's been pretty good. It hasn't been a letdown, but it's also kind of like dragging on, I feel like, at this point. I'd like to know what you guys are thinking about King in Black yourselves. So, Chris, actually, what we're going to do here.
We got something else?
No, I don't have something else, but Dan De La Torre has something he wanted to share with us. This is X-Men 31, first appearance of the Cobalt Man, a nice 7.0 Silver Age book. Dan, man, you pick up some nice finds, and we know you love you some Defenders as well. We know you're a huge Defenders fan. Swaggle House has actually mentioned that about you as well. So, but that is a very nice book. Early X-Men, number 31. That's good stuff right there. Keep telling us what you picked up. We'll get to all you guys. Chris, what do you got next?
All right. This is the complete opposite of reading it. Again, it breaks my heart. Star Wars just boring the hell out of me. But I am loving this series so far. 3 books in. I just looked at my orders, and for some reason, I ordered number 5, but I didn't order number 4. So that sucks. So I got to go find one somewhere because it comes out next week, and I'm like, I can't wait to get it. Symbiote Spider-Man, the King in Black run. There was a run that came out in 2019. This one started last year. Peter David is just killing it, man. I'm loving the Greg Land art too. He's more known for his cover art, but he does the interior as well. This storyline is just so. When I'm reading it, I feel like I'm watching an MCU movie, but it has classic Spider-Man vibe as well, because this does take place. I won't give any spoilers away, but it takes place when Peter has the symbiote suit. All right, and it ties into King in Black. So it really, like, I could pick this up, and the whole vibe of Peter is totally like late 70s, early 80s Peter, and yet it's so fresh and fulfilling with writing that is right up there with the best of the best writing from the best MCU films. You got Rocket Raccoon that appears in this issue, and like just the banter is so freaking Bradley Cooper, and I'm hearing his voice in my head as I'm reading it, and it's like spot on. And this is one of the best reads, I think, out of 3 issues that I've read in a while.
Dude, I love Peter David. I also absolutely love that cover. That cover's outstanding. And again, I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. Our first experience to who Captain Marvel was Monica Rambeau, right? For me, like, that's who it was. I didn't know any other Captain Marvel. So I love that cover. I love that she's becoming a major player, and I'm super psyched for that. Pedro Windu picked up a Marvel Spotlight number 4. Now, here's the deal, Pedro. I'm sorry. I don't know how that refers to WandaVision. I know that's a Werewolf by Night. If anybody could tell us, or Pedro, if you could tell us that, I'd appreciate it, because my ignorance is showing.
I know.
Go ahead, Chris. What is it?
So Marvel Spotlight 3 is the first mention of the Darkhold, and I do believe Marvel Spotlight 4 is the first time that we see it.
Got it. Okay. Pedro, if you want to clarify that and confirm, that would be great. But that's a nice pickup, man. Nice pickup there. Again, guys, keep letting us know what you guys picked up. But I'm going to move on to, what is this? This is my 3rd book of the week. All right. I mentioned about, there's just a few future states that I do like, and Dark Detective is one of them, guys. I'm really enjoying Dark Detective. You do see the next Batman right there, but I haven't read this issue again yet. I will, but this is one of the future states again with Wonder Woman that I really kind of enjoy. I'm also happy this is not a $7.99 book as well. I've not been happy with those. You're paying $8 for a book. It's just ridiculous, but I'm okay with this. This is pretty decent. I'm digging it. I love the Dark Detective costume too, and Bruce Wayne on the run kind of a thing. So that is my third book of the week. And what we have here next to share with you guys from our audience is from Union Josh Comics. He picked up, based off the latest episode of WandaVision, he's leaning more and more towards this book. It's the first appearance of Modred, the Mystic, as well as Chthon's first appearance as the Other. So that's a nice pickup too, kind of following Joe G's strategy. I believe it was Joe G who said that he's going through all the Mystic, the Mystic Marvel characters and things like that, because man, those are gonna do well. I'm telling you, especially when the Doctor Strange film and even Spider-Man film come out. It's gonna really kind of concentrate on that whole corner of the Marvel universe. So that's exciting stuff. All right, see if we have any comments here. Anybody else want to share something else? Nope, nothing yet. Yeah, why does DC charge $1 more for the variant? They're charging $2 more because there's a backup story. So they're charging basically $8 for a backup for the main story and the backup story. I don't think it's worth it. Anyways, Chris, what do you got for your fourth pickup this week? I feel like we're losing energy here. Let's pick it up, everybody. Let's pick it up. What do you got, Chris? What do you got?
All right, so I have not read this yet. Heard a lot of great things about it. So I bought it. I might read it today. Radiant Black.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I kept seeing, I'm in Facebook groups, comic book Facebook groups, and there was just so much talk all week long about how good it was. I think I might have seen a couple people, yeah, it was okay, but so many people were like praising it. So yep, I picked it up. I was at Zeppela Comics, so this is one of my pickups as well. I plan on reading it this week, but this week was crazy for me as well, and I didn't get to it, but I will be getting to it this weekend, and I'm excited about it.
I see Charlie Kirkland did send us 3 pictures, but you sent it kind of like their story, so we'll go through. There's a Star Trek right there.
Ooh, yeah. Little gold key.
More of that Star Trek. I'm not sure what that is, but if you could send it as just regular pictures, those are looking sweet, though. Those look to be Silver Age comic books. That's good stuff, Charlie. We're loving that. We are loving that. But, yeah, absolutely. And, all right. The reason I went ooh is because I'm psyched about Radiant Black as well. I'm getting that in the mail, so I have yet to read it as well. But I'm hearing great things about it. And that, guys, is going to be a Image superhero universe that they're starting with Radiant Black. I'm psyched to read that. All right. Here we go for my fourth book of the week. Guys, this is another book I haven't had time to read, but I'm really, really enjoying this series. It is Thor 12, The Return of Donald Blake, guys. Man, this is just twisted. Donny Cates is bringing this twisted version of Donald Blake. I'm loving every minute of it. I really am enjoying this series. I'm psyched to read this. I haven't had a chance, but again, this one just came out on Wednesday too. So guys, I know I usually pick up gold in the dollar bins. I had no time to do that this week. My daughter came with me into the comic book shop, and she has no patience as a 5-year-old. She just wants to hit the toys, get what she wants, and get out and open the box. So that's what happened this weekend. So I did not get to dig in the dollar bins, but I'm gonna tease this, Chris. I'm gonna tease this. My last book here I did read. I'm super psyched about, and I hope you guys consider it as well. Tricky Clicky giving props to Charlie Kirkland on that Lois Lane book. Absolutely. All right, Chris, what do you have for your last book of the week? The last fresh from the comic shop book you had.
I'm gonna tell you guys, it's not fresh from the comic shop. I've had it in my collection.
Whoa, what is this? You're changing up the whole segment. That's not fair.
I've had this in my collection for over 30 years. But I'm going to tell you 2 things. One, it's fresh. It's still fresh. And two, I freshly pulled it out from the bins that I haven't looked at in a long time to give it a press. So I said, you know what? I'm going to show it off because it's still fresh. It's fresh to death. And it's fresh on the freshometer in terms of what it's doing in the market right now. So I thought it'd be fair to show this one off. And that's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. #1 newsstand that I got off the rack so very long ago. It's it's a fine plus very fine copy. It's got like one color break and some spine ticks because I read it many times. But newsstand for these is definitely rare, and it's still decently high grade enough. And it means so much to me. And I'm so glad I kept all of my turtle books from when I was a kid.
You know, you have talked about that book quite a few times. You know what? It's fresh. It's fresh. Not fresh from the shop, but it's okay. It's allowed and fresh from the comic shop. All right, here we go. So we have couple, Cali Comics is loving this Thor series. It says there's a great fight scene. I'm psyched. I'm going to read this book in the next couple days. Comic Noob. I picked up Marvel Tales 237, 238 Tom McFarlane covers, trying to complete that set. I remember those. Absolutely. All right. Here we go, guys.
You got one more? You got one more, right?
What's that?
You have one more, right?
I have one more. I teased
this
one. Oh, by the way, Cali Comics. Yes, Chris, awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was so lucky to get a copy from Comic Command Center that was signed by Eastman. I unfortunately lost all my childhood books. Good stuff, man.
That's awesome. Hey, Jeff, I don't mean to cheat, but after you show off your books, I got to show you guys something real quick.
All right. All right. Is it part of the Fresh from the Comic Book Shop segment, or is it something else completely?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So, guys, I teased this book here. I was super excited when I heard the synopsis of what this book is. This is a book by a gentleman called Peter Calloway, and he chronicles his grandfather's life. This is Shadow Doctor #1. It's a true story from Aftershock Comics. Shadow Doctor #1. It's about a doctor just getting out of law school in the 30s. He's black. He can't get a job anywhere. And he ends up becoming a doctor for Al Capone. So this is, I can't recommend this book enough. It's so good. And what fascinates me more is that it is a true story. You see actual pictures of the family, of his grandfather. He gives kind of a reason why. It's great. I'm really excited to pick up the series, the next issue. Shadow Doctor #1. I cannot recommend this enough. Just a really cool read. Especially, I think what I find most fascinating. It was a great read, but it's also being a true story. It's a fascinating kind of situation this doctor puts himself in. So that is my last book of the week. So Chris has a bonus book, I guess. That's not really fair, but whatever. I mean, he's totally hijacking Fresh from the Comic Shop. I hope you guys are good with that because we have no choice here. Go for it, Chris.
Okay, so look, I can't. So as we were sitting here showing off our books, and who do we get? Who was the first guest book that we showed off? Was that from Matt?
The first. That was Matt. Yeah, that was Matt with the Alpha Flights.
Oh.
And then we had Dan De La Torre with X-Men 31, Cobalt Man, and then we had Union Josh Comics with Marvel Chillers #1.
Who was that?
Union Josh Comics.
Union Josh. So funny. As we were doing this segment, I was in a bidding war for a set of Marvel Chillers #1, and I got the winning bid.
Wait, this is like, I mean, congratulations on the winning bid, but this would be, you can't use those for another episode of Fresh from the Comic Shop. You can't.
It was so fitting, so I can't show them off when I get them. Yeah, but I thought it was so fitting that we're talking about it. It's being shown up here, and I'm sitting here bidding on the book. and I win it. And that's just, I thought that was so cool.
You know what? Congratulations on that. Everybody is happy that you won it and you hijacked Fresh from the Comic Shop. No big deal, but that is Fresh from the Comic Shop. That's all we got this week. We will have a brand new books to show off next week. Guys, hit us up on Comic Book Canon on Instagram. Tag us with your books. We remind you each and every week. We're glad that some people listen because we're very happy to show off your books. All right. Now, guys, we do not have a Cosmic Minute this week. Tom is sick. It is not COVID. He's okay, but he was kind of bedridden all week and not really in any shape to be producing a Cosmic Minute. He told me he will be back next week, and I'm super excited for that Cosmic Minute. So, with that being said, we're going to take one question real quick. Hey, Jeff, who do you think will win in a fight between Ghost Rider versus Superman? Oh, man. I'm gonna have to say Ghost Rider because isn't there something, especially with magic, Superman's powers don't work with magic, and Ghost Rider's powers are more aligned towards magic, the dark arts, those kinds of things. Am I right? Guys, let us know what you think. Chris, what do you think?
Isaac is always doing this.
Cali Comics calls Ghost Rider. Charlie Kirkland, Ghost Rider. I think we're all on the same page here. I think he has a weakness against magic.
Yeah. I think Superman. I think that would be in a situation where somebody like Batman, because he's just so creative in the way that he beats people, would have to come to Superman's rescue in that situation.
Yeah. Wait, so you're agreeing that Ghost Rider would win, right?
I think so, because I'm looking at it from your perspective of, well, Superman seems so unbeatable, right? He's just the all-powerful, but that's not true. It's not true. And when you're dealing with like dark arts like that, there's got to be there's some way that I see them finding a weakness to pull him down.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, everybody's calling Ghost Rider. All right, we got a little sidetracked here, guys. I mean, we had to fill a little bit of space here because we do not have a Cosmic Minute this week, and it is sorely missed because that is one of our favorite segments we do each and every week. Tom does an excellent job of just dishing knowledge to us. Guys, you should be following him at Cosmic Comic History each and every day. He posts great content on there. But guys, we are going to move on to Key Collectors' favorite segment each and every week. That's the Top 10 Hottest Comics of the Week. I showed it. I'm going to do this again. Guys, I'm going to do this again. Sometimes I edit this and I gotta have a clean edit, guys. Because it is Key Collector's favorite segment of the week, the Top 10 Hottest Comics of the Week based off of Cover Price's data. That is right. Each and every week, Cover Price releases their top 10 hottest comics of the week, not based on speculation, but data. They release it on a Monday. Our show is always on a Friday. What we like to do, though, is we give you guys the top 10 hottest comics of the week, but Chris dishes out his 3 most interesting books of the week, and he just lays it out there as to why they are interesting. So, with that being said, we're just going to get right into it, Chris. Is that cool? We're just going to do it. Let's do it. All right. Here we go, guys. At number 10, A Voice in the Dark. Number 1, that's an Image Top Cow book from 2013. At number 9 is The Immortal Hulk, number 43. I'm kind of disgusted. It's in the top 10. I want it out. It's not up to me. It's not up to anybody. People are still buying it, and most of you know why. At number 8, we have X-Force number 1, the negative UPC with a Deadpool trading card. These Deadpool trading cards are being sought after, guys. X-Force is seeing a major bump, even with the millions of issues that they sold. At number 7 is Taskmaster number 3, the Shane Davis 1 in 25 variant. At number 6 is Forever Maps number 1, Scout Comics. Number 5 is Cover number 1, the Zoo or Zoo variant. Number 4 is Immortal Hulk number 43. Same thing here, guys. I want it out. At number 3 is X-Force number 1 with a Deadpool trading card. That's just the regular release. At number 2 is Taskmaster number 3. And at number 1 is Cover number 1, the A cover. Chris, it is now time for you to break down your 3 most interesting books from this week. What do you got, Chris? What do you got?
My 3 picks are 3 very, very interesting books that are very interesting for 3 different reasons. So let's get in to my first pick. Number 3. What? I should have pulled out my huge stack of X-Force number 1s that I have. X-Force number 1, poly bag with the Deadpool trading card. Look. Anything can be worth money. Anything can end up having value if people just want it bad enough. And right now, people want this book. More importantly, though, I think people want this card. So I don't have the complete story, but I remember even going back into the 90s, I remember that the card to get was the Deadpool card. Now, I don't know if there was a lower print run or whatnot, but it's been the most popular card out of this set, even since I was a kid. But the fact that it's picking up right now is crazy. And not only is it picking up with a 226% increase in sales, but this book sold for a high raw $40. $40. Whoever thought that your multi-million print run X-Force number 1 from 1991 will be selling for $40 raw? It goes to show you never know. You never know. So I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, what I don't want to say I love it and not be responsible here and put things in context. Does me loving this mean that you should get all hyped up with me and go out and try to pay $40 or $50+ for this book? No, I wouldn't. I mean, I have a bunch of copies. I'm not sure if I have one with the Deadpool card. My point is, though, I just love it simply because it shows that anything can happen. Will it stay this way? I have absolutely no idea. Probably not. But look, it's here right now. And look, if people are willing to spend that money on it, I'm all for it. That's the beauty of collecting. It's the beauty of a free market, supply and demand.
We are not here to tell you what to buy. We are just reporting the facts here, especially on this segment. I mean, I have 6 copies of X-Force number 1, and it has each of the cards. I wanted to make sure I got each of the cards when I bought them back in the day. I have 1 Deadpool. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I actually have 7 copies. One of them is a reader issue. So I don't plan on getting rid of them. That era to me is special. So anyways, by the way, we're going to take a pause in the top 10 hottest comics because we're going to say hello to Tom. Tom, we hope you're doing well, man. We hope you're back on your feet and getting us a Cosmic Minute next week because we missed it. But again, yeah, seriously, Tom, get well. Hope you're feeling better. Again, guys, it's not the COVID. It was just some sort of other illness. He will be fine. Oh, Dan, that is sweet. Cosmic, we missed you. Hopefully he'll be hanging out here. Here we go, guys. Hope to be back with the Cosmic Minute next week. I was a tad under the weather this week. We explained the whole situation, Tom, and we are looking forward to you next week. All right, moving on, Chris. What is your second book of the week?
All right. Number 2 is another Marvel book. This is a new book, Taskmaster number 3. Taskmaster number 3, you had the cover A and the variant cover up this week. Number 2 on the list. This is the first appearance of a new South Korean superhero. Now, guys, please don't kill me if I butcher this name. Tae Gukai. Okay, I don't know if I said that right, but I apologize if I didn't. I did my best. This character, I haven't read the story yet or whatnot, but this is a South Korean representative, kind of seemingly being a character that's supposed to be that symbol of South Korea and for Korean folks and the Korean culture. I think this is awesome. Again, I don't know too much of the character, but here's the thing. I really think that right now Marvel is in a good position to introduce new types of characters like this that relate to people of different ethnicities and backgrounds and cultures from all over the world and do it right. And I'm very hopeful that this character is going to fit into that. So it's no, surprise to me that this book is doing so well. 400% increase in sales this week with a high raw going for $29. It's in demand, and like I said, I want to read this story. I want to dive into seeing what they're doing with this character. I think before, not to get too much into this, but I do want to just put some context of, I think before when Marvel and DC would try to, create new characters for whatever reasons, even if it's to relate to a more diversified audience. I think they did it with good intentions, but I don't think the genuine essence of what needed to be in these characters was there at time of conception or whatnot. And I think they fell short. I do feel that the right people are in place right now where that is changing. So I'm going to be looking out for this character, not specking on it, but just to read and watch the story, because I think this is an awesome character, potentially an awesome character that has a great future ahead of them.
I also love that. That cover is outstanding, by the way. That cover is excellent. But I think a lot of people are sensitive to any Southeast Asian characters because of what Kevin Feige said, that sooner rather than later, we are going to see a new superhero, potentially a teen. So I think everybody is, new Agents of Atlas, those kinds of things. Joe G, I like how comics are promoting inclusivity, as do we. Chris and I talk about this all the time. Representation absolutely matters. It absolutely matters. Tom with Cosmic Comic History. With Ike Perlmutter out of the Marvel equation, representation has increased in their books and media. It's just a great thing. I mean, absolutely. Chris and I talk about this each and every week. It's important, guys. It's important. And for anybody who's against that, I'm not sure what their background is, but representation matters, okay? And I think my eyes have opened up even more having a daughter she's a quarter Hispanic, and she's half Jewish. I'm Jewish, and I just want her to be able to just see people that represent her on screen with those cultures. And I'm psyched. We live in it's really cool the way we're headed. So. And it also, I mean, from a business standpoint, Comic New, nail on the head right here. Well, the Asian market is huge. It would only make sense to make some characters for that market.
Absolutely.
Sense. All right.
Yep.
Chris, this is the last book of the week for the top 10 hottest comics. This is Chris's third most interesting book of the week. Chris, take it away.
Really interesting. Prior, I not much knowledge of this book, but I am a fan of a lot of the work the writer's done behind this book, and it's an independent at number one. I'm always down for independence at number one, and that is Image's cover number one. Hey, just to note, my top three were the top three in the list, and I did not do that on purpose. That hardly ever happens, but it just worked out that way this week. But let's talk about cover number one, guys. Image, it really, under Brian Michael Bendis. Now, I know Brian Michael Bendis has got some slack lately. Some people didn't like what he was doing with Superman. I love what he did with the Ultimate Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe. He is responsible for bringing Miles in. I think he kind of fell off from there, and I like where they're taking Miles right now. But ultimately, I think Brian Michael Bendis is a really solid writer all around. In the concept of this book is taking a concept of comic book creators working within the intelligence community, like as undercover operatives. And it's such a unique blend of a storytelling that I've never really seen before. So I'm really excited about getting into reading this book. But it's also hot right now because it's being developed for an HBO Max TV show. That right there sent this book through the roof. 722% increase in sales. High CGC 9.8, sitting at $80. So, not a book that's going to break your pocketbooks. But when these things get options, when these things start getting developed, especially these independent books, we see this automatic magnetic pull of everyone just rushing to these. But I really think this is a very, very unique one. So I'm not shocked at the success that it's had since this announcement. And again, look, we talk about Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers issues with DCEU. I think Warner Brothers is capitalizing on HBO Max right now, and not just with the DC stuff, but optioning this for a series for HBO Max. Big thumbs up there. Solid move.
Yeah, it's bringing a different type of content into the fold, optioning different things outside. It's cool how they're looking at other comic book properties, outside of their own. I'm excited. That just opens up a whole new world in terms of HBO Max, and I'm liking what HBO Max is, what it has to offer, and what we talked about earlier in the show about how it has that kind of mature content. It can house mature content in there, and it's kind of a disadvantage to Disney Plus, but honestly, we love those properties so much. We're going to take them as we can get them. But I'm interested in seeing this as well, and it's very interesting. So, anyways, that closes out our top 10 hottest comics of the week. We will be back next week with a brand new list, and Chris will give his 3 most interesting picks as well. All right. Here we are at the end of our show. We're used to these long shows. We've had guests, and we're going to have guests as well. Actually, Reggie Collects will be on our show next week. You may know him. He's a great YouTuber. Dishes out great information, has an amazing collection. The dude bought a collection, 100,000 books. He bought, in one pop, he bought 100,000 books. So he'll be on next week to tell his story, be part of Fresh from the Comic Shop, and we'll have a good time. So be sure to mark that on your calendars for next week. But right now, guys, we're going to do a little Q&A. But Chris, within this Q&A, maybe we should talk WandaVision. What would you think about that?
Oh man, yes. We didn't get to last week because the show went on for so long.
Well, so long. But here's the deal. Before we do that, if you guys haven't seen the newest episode of WandaVision, peace out. It's great hanging out with you this week. We will see you next week. Get out of here. Now. Go. Because we'll talk WandaVision right now, just a little bit. Both Chris and I had a really long week. Separate. They were kind of separate. Work kind of kicked my ass, and same with Chris. So it's not as detailed as we usually like to get with these types of things, but let's have a casual conversation, Chris. Let's just talk about it. What I would like to bring up, one of the things I would like to bring up, Chris, about this episode is the commercial. The commercial was for Nexus. Nexus is basically a doorway to the multiverse. They're completely opening up this door, literally and figuratively. We saw that with Pietro, right? So, what do you think of that?
I got something to say about honestly, at this point, I don't think Pietro has anything to do with the multiverse.
You don't?
Nope, I don't.
I'd like to hear your theory.
So I believe Evan Peters playing him is just an ode. I don't think there's any relation to the fact that, and I don't even think that he's Pietro. And we saw from, I'm sure we'll get into this more, but we saw, Agatha put the little, purple hex on him. So I think she's his puppet. And I don't even necessarily know if he's Pietro or he's just somebody that she's puppeting to convince Wanda that that's her brother. So that's kind of where I'm at right there. But you can't deny that, we know the multiverse is coming. And this Nexus commercial just really solidified that. I love how they made it a, antidepressant commercial and had, what did they say? Like, are you in are you experiencing reality or not? So it's like, what reality are we in? And so it was really, really interesting how they did that.
Oh, okay. Here's the deal. If that's not Pietro, if she's just messing with him, why would they use the Fox Pietro? Why would they cast him? Why would they not bring
as an ode? Simply because out of what was the Fox's X-Men franchise, he didn't have much of a role. And he was introduced in Days of Future Past, right?
Yeah.
Was he even in Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Apocalypse. Was he in Phoenix?
I think he was, yeah.
I don't even remember. Yeah, well, anyways, what I do know is out of those films, I don't think we got enough out of him. And he was one of those, it was just a fan favorite, that Feige said,
No.
let's cast him as this, spellbound alternate fake Pietro, and it's going to be the biggest surprise to find out that he has nothing to do with the multiverse.
I'm going to pull something up here that we were supposed to go over last week and we didn't. Here we go. This is what the producer said about bringing in Evan Peters. Hold on. Getting our show rundown from last week. Give me a moment, everybody. Okay. We love the idea of bringing him back, Evan Peters. And then when we were like, how in the world are we going to make this make logical sense? Like, how do we justify this? Because that's the thing. You can hatch a million great ideas, but to make them land, to make them be grounded, to make them feel organic to the larger story, the show is such a mind scramble because it's working on so many levels, and there's so many notions of what's real and what's not, and performance and casting and audience and fandom and all of that. I'm reading this whole quote from the producer. We just thought it would be the biggest thrill to bring Evan over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We thought, like, how do we give him this entrance and then enjoy that and then make it crazy? And we had the long idea of the trope of the brother or the relative or whoever comes into town and like stir things up with the family, that being the sitcom trope.
Right.
Jack Schaefer later discussed the reaction by both Evan Peters and Kevin Feige. We were rooting for it for so long and didn't know if it would be possible. It was complicated to make happen. Evan was always up for it. Like, always, always, always. He's a comic book fan and a Marvel fan. He's always up for the absolute weirdest option, and he's a pleasure, truly a pleasure to work with. Everybody was really excited. I think Kevin Feige wanted to make sure that there was a reason for it and that it made sense. And I hope that's what we did. So, Chris, going to your point of it just being an ode.
Yep.
No, I can't.
Hey, you know what? I see that. I see everything that was said right there backing up my point. The weirdness, we wanted it to be as weird and crazy as it could be, but to make it work to where the fans would be, whatever. So, and again, see, it's funny how we can perceive things because you can see that and you're using it as evidence to back up why you feel like it is the Pietro or the Quicksilver from a multiverse perspective from Fox. And I'm listening to that and I'm like, yeah, that goes to me saying like they did something that completely is surprising. If it turns out to be what I'm saying, who expected that? Maybe besides me. Like that's going to be the total whoa. But they made it work because we were all fooled. Wanda was fooled, and stuff like that. And I think it actually, if Evan Peters is a different character, I think it's going to show his ability to be much more than, oh, well, he's just Quicksilver. Maybe he's something even bigger.
I mean, okay, I'll give you that. It's either one or two. It's not an ode. I'm sorry. It's not just a hat tip and a nod that Evan Peters is walking in. It's not. It's more than that. And it could be the actual Quicksilver from the Fox universe, or it could be something more. I get that. I'll give you that. The something more. It's one of those two things. In my opinion, it is not an ode. It is not a hat tip. It is not a nod.
How about this? What if in their reality, in their universe, the Fox films actually exist as films?
Mm-hmm.
And what if he's really the actor that played Quicksilver in the movie in their reality or something? No, that wouldn't make sense because,
no, they wouldn't, because Darcy
bring in X-Men characters, but
Darcy was like, they recast Quicksilver. Darcy recognized that wasn't Quicksilver.
Right.
Remember that? So it wouldn't have been like, so I can't go with that. By the way, I like what Dan De La Torre says here, that he got Strange Tales 110, First Nightmare. Everybody's saying that a character like that will not be introduced in the last 2 episodes of the series, just to throw in there. He's a bigger character for somebody to kind of be the main villain in the Doctor Strange series, or maybe throughout this whole arc, this 3 project arc being WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. So I don't know. We'll see. This is interesting. You don't think we're getting it in the invasion of? I think Serge is kind of alluding to maybe Pietro's a Skrull. That's not a bad idea. That's kind of interesting. I don't think that's the case either. But let's talk about the twist, the turn, the reveal in this episode, which is, it seems as of this episode that Agatha is the villain. Agatha is pulling the strings. Agatha is controlling Wanda.
Yeah, now we question. So I think what we see now is Wanda wasn't aware of what she was doing at first, and she had to wake up from that. She's like, "Oh shoot, I am doing this. Maybe because of my emotions and everything that was going on." And now she's conscious of it, and she's conscious of controlling it. But now we get this, we know that Agatha is pulling some strings. So was Agatha pulling the strings all along, or was Wanda creating this and Agatha inserted herself and kind of like twisted it to her to play with Wanda? So I still don't think we really know. I don't think we know. Maybe Wanda was never in control of anything, but just made to think she was, or Wanda's initial emotional response to it all did initially create it, but then because it came from such of a from anger, like from the dark place within Wanda, Agatha saw it as a chance to play with her emotions and twisted the reality that she thought she was controlling, and simply to turn her bad, to focus. So it's kind of like a Jedi mind trick, not a Jedi, like a Sith mind trick thing, right? So, it's Wanda's powers, like say she's using the Force, but she's using it out of anger. So she's going the Anakin route. And then you got a Sith Lord coming in and kind of feeding off of the negative energy and twisting it so she doesn't recognize that there's any good in her still. So I think,
I agree. And here's the deal. This was going to be my next thought, but Dan beat me to the punch here. Agatha is a red herring. I believe she is also being manipulated. But I did like the twist. I like the reveal, and especially combining that with the Modern Family kind of a vibe of the show. So I agree with that. Joji says the basement screams Mephisto to him, and the fly upstairs. That was a weird thing that just like kind of, I don't know if it was a cockroach or I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And then Tom is agreeing here. I'm with Dan. I don't think we've seen the main antagonist yet.
Yep.
Well, this is a good call too from Dan. I think Agatha's secretly protecting Wanda. That's a good possible. Like, it could go anywhere, guys. The things that we have to look forward to are two things that I've heard from the stars. What's his face who plays Vision? Why can I not remember his name?
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. He as he mentioned, he said that this has been an actor he's wanted to work with all of his life or his whole professional career, and it hasn't. It's not Evan Peters, so we haven't seen that person yet.
Yep.
And the woman that plays Monica Rambeau, I think her name's Taisha Paris, maybe. She says that the ending is going to be epic, but heartbreaking. So we have there's 2 episodes left, guys. Oh my God, I can't believe there's 2 episodes left. This is crazy.
Can I insert one thing? What about the book? Yeah. What about the book in the basement?
Yeah, is that the Darkhold? Like, Darkhold screams Chthon, obviously. This is interesting too, Tom. When they first entered Westview, it was mentioned that the FBI had someone in witness protection. Do you think that is someone of relevance to the plot? I do. I definitely do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, there's so many of these like threads that are still unresolved, and I have a feeling we're not going to have full I don't think things are going to be resolved by the end of the series. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be so many threads that are going to tie into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and that's exciting to me. That's super exciting.
So, what about Monica really going full on Spectrum?
Spectrum, or whatever, or Photon, whatever. Oh, she's probably not Photon. Her mom was named Photon.
Yep.
But yeah, man, like that's coming. Her powers are coming. I'm psyched for that.
And when she went in, so she was she already went in twice. It came out twice. So she's already got, you know, molecular structure. There's something going on there. So when she was pushing through this time, I took it because you heard all the voices in her head from the first Captain Marvel movie about how she was telling Carol Danvers, can I go in space and fly with you or whatever? So what I'm thinking is when she was pushing through, she wasn't letting the wiring or whatever control her because she already took so much of that in her. She was able to push back on it. And when she went through, she manifested what she wanted to become. And so she thought of all of that. And it wasn't that she just got her molecular structure changed. She manifested it. She manifested her own powers because she was basically able to communicate with the threshold in those thoughts. I want to be like Captain Marvel and have powers. And it took that and pushed her through.
That's incredible. It's like turning it around completely. That's incredible. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty deep. That's something there because like Captain Marvel, like Carol Danvers was her hero. I mean, her mom was her hero, but also, you know, she had the nickname Captain Trouble. She had a great relationship from what we know when she was a kid.
Right.
So like that's absolutely incredible. Also, there's a good point here. P. Keel, Tom, there telling Tom Torme there was a short mid-credit scene in case you missed it. Guys, was that mid-credit scene anything other than knowing that Pietro is working for Agatha?
Right.
Like Creeper's gonna creep,
right.
stopping Monica from trying to get into that basement. I don't know. I didn't see much. There wasn't much more in it other than I guess Pietro is working for Agatha. I guess is how we can perceive that. And Matt just asked the question: was there any significance? Yeah, the significance I think is that Pietro is working for Agatha specifically. So
what do we think?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Joji was specking on Chthon before the show. He's been with Wanda since the day she was born, a tool for Chthon to fight the Avengers. Yeah, I mean that's a really strong theory going on out in the community. So it's absolutely a possibility.
Yeah, here's what I think at this point of what's going to happen at the end of the show, or what's going to stem from the end of the show, and we're going to see it happen somewhere. We know Vision's alive. That's really Vision. It's him.
Yeah.
But so we know that now. If he goes out of the beam or whatever, the wall, he goes back to his dead self. So something's keeping him alive in there. We know that the government was already trying to bring him back to life. Mm-hmm. We found that out today. By the end of the show, or soon after the show and somewhere else, we're going to see White Vision. They're going to figure out how to bring Vision alive without the Soul Stone, and we're going to see White Vision. That's one thing that I am saying is going to happen, and I absolutely don't think, because we're not done seeing Paul Bettany as this character. I think he's doing a freaking amazing job. Yeah. And there's just so much more. And that's the only way that I think he can exist outside of this is by the government creating what we know to be in the comics is White Vision. I think that's one thing that's going to happen. And I think, too, we're still going to see this character at the end of the show. And I don't know who it is yet, Jeff.
It's going to blow us away, man. I really have a feeling, as much as we're anticipating this, I really think we're just going to be like, it's going to be one of those moments where our jaws drop, like we're anticipating this. It's like, it could be anybody. Like, they've done such a great job of just keeping us on the edge of our seats, keeping us thinking into theories, keeping us just talking. That's the amazing thing about this series, right? And Mandalorian did that too, but this is more because there's so many layers here. There's so many things that are it's just so deep. It's a great show. I'm so pumped. And I don't know what more I could talk about with it. Yeah, anyways.
Oh, Oh, one more thing. Are we still getting glimpses into Fantastic Four?
This is so funny you bring that up because Monica's saying my engineer friend, right? And everybody's like, oh, it could be Reed Richards. Serge Henderson just brought something up here. I was thinking about Johnny Storm and his wife, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about his wife, but the Vision in the comic books is based on the original Human Torch, right? So maybe there's a tie-in there. Maybe because the Vision's body is based off of the Human Torch, this android in the 30s that was part of the Invaders with Captain America and Namor. So maybe there is a connection there to Johnny Storm, and maybe there's a connection to in some way to Fantastic Four in that way. But I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I hope they reveal who this engineer is. They have to, because they've talked about it across many episodes. I honestly hope it's Reed Richards, but people are saying it could be Blue Marvel. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Blue Marvel. He's one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. I cannot remember his alias or his real name, but he fought in the Korean War, was a war hero, had these powers, became the Blue Marvel. He was African American, and when people found out he was African American in the 60s, the President Kennedy told him he needs to not be a superhero anymore and just kind of go away, and then he came back. So that would be an interesting revelation as well, because Monica and Blue Marvel have a relationship in the comic books at one point too. And this is a good point too. Bad Avenger Pietro referred to the kids as little demons in an offhand comment, because in the comic books they're little slivers of Mephisto's soul is how they were born. That's how they came to be. So, I mean, gosh, guys, we can go on and on and on. But, Chris, I think we may end it right now, right? Unless you have more to talk about.
I'll just say this. At this last, 20 minutes that we've just been talking about, 20 plus minutes that we've been talking about this show, I think goes to show you that Marvel Studios is ahead of anybody that's ever done anything ever.
They're doing it right.
I'm not even like, look, you could bring up some of the greatest actors and directors and producers like Steven Spielberg and Scorsese and all these people and these franchises like Star Wars that are just the biggest franchises ever, or Indiana Jones. And the bottom line, or you can even look at TV shows. I mean, look at what The Simpsons has done with animated, and it's ran for so long. Or I don't even know what other TV shows like that have broken ground. Like ER, I think broke ground for medical dramas and all these things. Dude, nobody ever has done what Marvel is doing, and I can't even put a finger on explaining what that is.
Well, because go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not just the writing, the acting, the stories. It's that they're doing things in a way that I can't even. There's no words. For me right now. I'm at a loss for words because I can't even explain what it is that they do.
Well, because this has never been done before, guys. Iron Man came out, and their goal was to create this connected universe, which had never been done before. They've done that. They've had two major events. Bringing the Avengers together was one major event. Then, Infinity War and Endgame was another event. They're building, and they're continuing to build, but they're continuing to innovate. And they're doing it right. And they have the right leadership in place, the right creators in place. And again, they are doing it right. And it's hard to mimic something this, because nobody can understand the challenges to put this together. It's not only amazing story, writing the stories, but it's the producing, guys. It's the producing. You have to coordinate all of these schedules with all these actors. You have to coordinate a timeline, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road of what you want to do. You have to coordinate on bringing these characters in. So somebody in the past has teased something from another film and another writer director want to go back there, bring that. It's just a ton of coordination. It's never been done before, and it's just amazing. And we are living in an amazing day and age where, like, you know, the 12-year-old me, if I would have said, hey, this is what's going on, like, I would have never, ever, ever believed it. Like, that is unbelievable what they do. And having an understanding of production and having to understand how closely involved they all have to be, the directors working with each other, the producers working with each other on all these different projects, it's incredible, guys. Don't take this for granted, because this is not easy. And what they do, they have way more success than they do failures. And that is just incredible. Kudos to that whole Marvel team.
Yep.
And I think we'll end on that. I think we're going to end on that. So anyways, thank you all for joining us this Friday. We really are happy that you spend this time with us each and every week talking about comic books, talking about this hobby that we love. We love you guys. Please, please, please like, subscribe. We have our 500 sub giveaway. Make sure to enter into that. It's super easy to enter. We have some great, great prizes. And we will be back next week with a special guest, Reggie Collects. Will be joining us next week talking about what he does on his channel, and his Fresh from the Comic Shop as well. So anyways, guys, super happy you're here. Chris, do you have any parting words?
Yeah. Go, if you haven't entered the contest yet, guys, 500 subscriber contest, go check out the video. It's not too far down, but you'll see 500 subscriber contest, and watch the video. It's only a couple minutes long, and see what you need to do. It's really simple. That's what I recommend everyone does before you guys end your night.
Absolutely. Well said. Guys, have a great rest of your week. We will see you again next Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. You guys take care, and until next week, have a good one. Bye.